Hello guys, I want to show you some cool things I've been working on in my game. So I think, let's see, what's this motor? I think today we shall try to build a tank. So I promised this last episode, and I've gotten, I think, most of the pieces there. So we should be able to build a basic tank today. So I guess first we gotta start with the structure of the vehicle. I think I'll go with a double wide chassis actually. Yeah, we've been getting pretty good at this stuff. Still a lot of work to do, but oops. I revamped a lot of the logic to make the building like a lot more consistent in terms of various things. Improve the wheels a lot too. But basically we were having a lot of different problems with, like, you know, physics and mathematics and, you know, all that fun stuff. So what I'm doing right here is just going to add some wheels to my vehicle. This right here is the area called the Invention Hub. Basically, you can build whatever you want here. Then, let's see, we'll add the brain to the car. So I improved the brain a lot. I added mouse controls, got rid of the number pad. So we got that to think about. See, these wheels looking a little low. See, I don't think I want to put the wheels too close to each other, because I think they can bump into each other a little bit, but I haven't actually seen that firsthand. Then we'll put batteries for everyone. I just realized I'm gonna need more diffusers. It's gonna be a heavier vehicle. Alright, let's work on some of this programming logic. So these are here computer chips. You need them to do various things. What else will we need? We will need this right here. Controls movement for vehicles. So left side, right side, and then we'll need, these are called diffusers. They basically diffuse signals, control signals across the various vehicles. Actually, we'll keep these like right here. And then we got a turret, which I'm excited about. And we got some guns. These are just old models, but they do the trick. They don't have to be perfect. We're not going to be aiming at. We don't really have anything to aim at except the sky. So I was thinking about adding like some sort of I don't know, debug mode or something, or for like while you're actually driving the vehicle. But now that we got that all sorted, the actual vehicle itself is built. Let's program it. Actually, you know, I think I'm gonna make it out of lighter materials real quick. Just don't want it to be too heavy. Now this configuration should be able to handle everything, but you never know. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up the batteries to power. I guess we'll just kind of split it evenly. So each wheel will get its closest power supply. And I think I will make kind of like a more automatic version of this, so it won't be tedious like it is right now. But you know, baby steps. You know, it took a lot of thinking just to even get to this state in development. So, and then the last wheels, hook them all up to power. Now, once we got power sorted, we need to hook up control. So let me think, which one was I going to use for this? split it. Alright. So this is the utility. What's this one? The mouse. I think we use utility. We'll use L shift to toggle everything. So L shift goes to the diffuser. And that diffuser, well, first off, it will go to another diffuser. But it'll go to all the wheels and it'll tell them to turn on. At least on this side. So toggle the wheel, toggle the wheel. Now in the current configuration you can have up to 6 outputs per diffuser. Although I'm thinking about increasing that. Or maybe making like a mega diffuser or something, you know. And then now we'll do this side. Just gotta connect everything all up together. This is getting a little bit annoying. Toggle, toggle, toggle. Well, as you can see, you know, there's a lot of programming involved here, so you'll be able to make some pretty crazy things if you really want to. Okay, now we should hook up the vehicles themselves to speed, or a speed sensor. So this is going to be a diffuser that's downstream of a speed sensor, or a speed controller. And I'll basically control, we'll basically tell our vehicles when to speed up, when to slow down, you know. Alright, those are all connected. Gotta do the other side. I'm thinking also about making the menus a little bit smaller, maybe. Because they kind of do take up a lot of space, but I mean, you do want it, you know, visible so you can see everything. Almost didn't click that one. Nah, I should probably add more sounds into the game, but you'll see in a moment. I'm not really the best at sound design. Alright, and then this right here is the vehicle controller. So basically, you give it, you know, forward and backwards controls, and left and right controls. And it's like a differential vehicle steerer. So it basically uses changes like which side is going forward, which side is going backwards, in order to drive the vehicle. And we'll hook that up to some pretty standard keyboard buttons. So WASD, right? Wait, let me see. I plugged that into the diffusers, or I plugged into the other diffusers, right? Yep. Awesome. And then this diffuser is controlled by space or left shift. Oh, almost forgot. We have to hook up the mouse to the cannon. So, let me think. Mouse. Left click to the diffuser. So when we left click, that will trigger the cannons. And one more thing I think we should do. Hook up the turret toggle to the diffusers toggle. Great. Oop, don't want that there. Take it away. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually save this real quick into my prefabs. I've just been kind of experimenting with stuff lately. Centitank, because it kind of looks like a centipede. Save that into my prefabs. That way I won't have to like remake it, because that took like what, 5 minutes. Physics on. You can see the response to physics. Okay. And let's fly this guy. So you press enter, it pops you into the controller module. And now let's press 1 to turn everything on. Or it's Is it one or is it left shift? Left shift. Alright, so I just turned everything on. As you can see, the turret tracks the cursor. If I press my mouse button, it shoots. So it's just tack echo. It's not really well adjusted of a sight, so you know you have to modify that as you make your vehicle. Doesn't seem to be tracking above its head very well. Well, let's see if this thing can drive, and it can. Haha. Barely. I think the wheels are a little bit on the kind of a little bit weird, but whoa, it's a little bit too light, and it flipped itself over. Should have gone with a wider base. Let me see if I flip this thing back around. All right, drop it back down. So I guess it goes pretty fast right now. The steering's inverted too. Oh, this game always something crazy. Let's go out into the desert. Yeah, but the steering mechanics are actually pretty good. So, not really loving the motor engine noises, but couldn't really find a lot of good ones online, so for free. I'll go make my own later or something. Attack! Attack who? There's no one out here. Oh. Turns on a swivel. I'll mess around a little bit with the wheel settings to kind of get that all figured out. I think the raycast only shoots out like 100 meters too, so you aim further than 100 meters, it just aims down at the ground. Yeah. But yeah, this is my game so far. I think the basic idea is that you're going to build some tanks and stuff and go fight off the enemies, and whoa, should probably have the counterweight in the back. Weigh it down a little bit more. When we stop it, just kind of, you know, lurches forward. You know, do I even have... Okay, I don't think I'm recording sound properly. Yeah. Alright. Does that record the output now? Yeah. Not the best sounding noise. Yeah, you're probably all upset. Could have been here in the first part of the video. We do need batteries to run this tank, so it's got a limited shelf life. I did try driving to the end of the world. Ah, man. What's that about? Since the game's still in its alpha, sometimes you hit like weird little bugs, like it falls over randomly. But you know, we're getting things settled. And let's turn off our... Yep, turn everything off. Just shuts off. Turn everything back on. We also need to add UI, I realized. But yeah, you'll drive around the desert, kill bad guys, you know, collect their parts, and try to level up your stuff, and I don't know, maybe there'll be like a versus match or something. Yeah, I tried to drive a vehicle kind of like this, a little bit lighter, a little bit faster to the edges of the world. But this world is, as of right now, it's about 600 kilometers. By 600 kilometers, like, I don't know, 50 kilometers tall. So it's kind of, you know, takes a long time to drive. Stubbed my toe again. Yeah, we might have to mess around some of the hitboxes. Or I was gonna add like a restable or a repositioning tool to kind of help you with those things. If you like get flipped on your back or anything. But like, you know, I do want players to get flipped on their back. You know, I don't want this to be, you know, easy or anything. I want there to be setbacks, and you know, you'll mess up things, and you have to go build a new vehicle, and you get stranded in the desert, you know. I want it to be like a fun, real engineering, you know. So, yeah, wow, look at this place. It's gigantic. Yeah, so if you're moving at 20 meters per second, what's that gonna take you, like 6 hours just to go 300 kilometers? Or, wait, no, 6 hours to go. If you cross, like, the diagonal of the world, that would take you over 6 hours, because what would that be? Like, closer to 8 to 9, 100 kilometers? I'm gonna bump it up to a million, by the way, so it's gonna be even bigger. The battery life on this thing's only like, I don't know, 30 minutes at best, so we could put a lot of batteries on, but you know, there's a point where it's too heavy, and then you can't move anymore, and so you gotta max out on range. But yeah, I gotta add a bunch of things to make this game, you know, even better. But trust me, guys, it'll get good. I mean, look how much progress we've made. Go watch some of the earlier devlogs, and you'll be like, wow, it's unrecognizable. I think progress will only continue to accelerate, too. And, you know, it'd be nice to get some other people in on this project, help out a little bit. So I'll probably start like posting like actual gameplay of this, where I'll just like play the game, and I'll post it so people can see for themselves, and they'll be able to download it on Steam. It's not out right now. The game's called Sky's End, but it's gonna be pretty fun. I mean, if you like Kerbal Space Program, you'll like this game, I think. It's like Kerbal Space Program with both tanks and guns, and there's gonna be more like kind of like infantry elements, I guess. Or you have like this little robot you can control named Echo. That's gonna be like, you know, your agile friend. So that'd be kind of like what you play as, but you'll be able to make vehicles for Echo, like I just did here. Well, I forgot to take Echo with me. It's okay. They'll just hang out at base. Whee. Man, this world's gigantic. Can't even, like, see the edges of it. Like, you could go all the way out there. Like, that's how big it is. Like, there's stuff at the horizon, you know? And if you could, like, zoomed in or something, you could, like, actually make out, like, you know, geographic features. I mean, just look how big this world is. Actually, no, let me show you. I think I can zoom out probably if I modify some variables. See, where's this guy? Third person spectator. You can see a little bit behind the scenes stuff here. Alright. What was that? 100,000? Like, we're just like, this is the area that's loaded in right now, and then it's like, I don't know, like there's where it came from. This is the area that's loaded in, and you could go all the way out there. It probably doesn't show up too well on the screens here, but you could go the distance in this game. And you'll be able to make like helper robots that'll like kind of like follow you around, and you know, you'll be able to like lead armies, and you know, all you guys will be, you know, fighting against enemy robots, and with like big AI tank battles. And oh, looks like we ran out of ammunition. Oh no, turret. That's too bad. Probably gonna running out of fuel, and I don't know. Let me check the batteries. Still need to add UIs for various things. Let me check this. Battery, about halfway out. So, I have to add like a UI menu, which I hate doing. So you can actually analyze your vehicle. And also, we got these interesting terrain artifacts. Oh, you can see the hub over there. Or the Invention Center. We got these interesting grid-like formations, terrain artifacts, I guess I should call them. We're gonna do the dynamic load. And at first I thought, it's like, it's kind of bad and stuff. But now I'm thinking like, oh, I'll just incorporate it as like a game feature and I'll put like highways and stuff on them. And they're not really that noticeable unless like you know what you're looking for, but you play the game long enough, you'll find them. Basically like the way I do the terrain generation. Like you can't like really see right here, but you can kind of notice there's like straightaways. Basically the way I do the terrain generation, once I like, in order to avoid edge seams, or well, actually I should say this is adding an edge seam, but when you make like a whole bunch of different meshes and try to connect them together, a lot of times you get like edge gaps when you terraform them. So what I did is I basically just told my terraforming code it's not allowed to touch edge gaps unless like it can like, line them up perfectly. So it just leaves like the last edge alone when it modifies the terrain, because this is, I didn't make this by hand, this is all procedurally generated. Looks nice, pretty good sand dunes. We're gonna add other biomes, so there's like more interesting places to go, do stuff. And it's not just gonna be like combat missions or anything, it's gonna be a lot of different engineering challenges. I think combat's like kind of the most fun engineering challenge, but you're gonna have like, build a bridge or build a factory or yeah, what else could you do? It's gonna be like I think I'm gonna have like radio towers that transmit like codes. You could go decipher them. It's gonna be like factions and stuff that you could team up with and go attack enemy factions. It's gonna be like a virus. The game is scoped pretty big at the moment, I will admit, but I think well, like here's my philosophy on that. People always say, oh, like go with a small scope, and I think that's generally good advice, but you should really view that as like managing complexity constraint to go with the smaller scope, but not like necessarily a time constraint, because like you say like, oh yeah, you want to get games out fast, but you're probably going to be like working on games like no matter what if you're really into game design. So you could just make 5 small games, or make a big game, but this big game is like, it's basically 5 small games, because there's gonna be like a vehicle builder part, like a factory builder part, like a first person shooter type part, so there's gonna be like all these various different controls and games you're making, and that's why I think it's okay to make a big game. And it's like, look how awesome this is, if you told me to make a small game, I would not have made this, but now I got like this giant sandbox where you could go create whatever you want, and I got like the entire foundation done of the game, so now I can just add like all this fun stuff, like tanks and turrets, and like the stuff took me like 2 days to program, so I can add a lot of features very quickly, I believe. And I don't know, I think the next like complex one will be trying to add like a enemy computer that can control a vehicle like this. I think it shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you design the enemy vehicles correctly. Gotta make them, get like, so they don't tip over, but like if you, like right now I'm just pressing like forward, right? If you put like a vehicle on autopilot just going forward, they probably do pretty well. And then you could add like a, what's it called? Like a gyroscopic sensor. So you could tell if it's on like a steep cliff or something, and it would know not to, stay away from the steep cliff, right? And you could even have like give it like a scanner that scans forward, so it knows to avoid really steep surfaces or big drop-offs. And then, just with simple logic, it could just drive towards the player, and an environment like this will probably hit the player, or do a circle around the player or something, And all you gotta do is feed that input into this little thing with the H on it, the vehicle controller. Aim over here. Things do look a little bit janky though, because I haven't turned on like programmed like part snapping or anything, so you can see like little discrepancies where things are put, but at least you know you can put things everywhere. Oh, I also programmed the saving feature. I'm not going to show that today, but I can now save these vehicles. So you put them in containers, basically, like storage containers, and then you go find the container and bring it back out. The container will be saved like wherever you drop off the container. What else? You know, I guess we'll just make this a long video. I'll talk a lot about my ideas for the game. Trying to steer. You know, that's another thing is, if you're moving pretty fast, it's actually kind of difficult to steer. You kind of get locked in place. That happens when you're driving too, but not like this. Ooh, don't tip over. Like driving in real life, you know, like the road will kind of, you know, you carry your momentum. And you notice this a lot more when driving in snow, but like it gets hard to turn because like the snow pushes you where you have to go. So, you know, we drive on pavement, which is easy, but this is off-road, so it's a little bit different. I think sand would be kind of hard to drive on, but this isn't really sand. It's actually like, you know, it could be as hard as concrete, flatter even. You know, getting these actually, let me show gizmos. Getting these wheels to work is actually kind of annoying. I saw another guy made a video about it. He basically, this video basically came out the day after I programmed my wheels. But basically what I do is I shoot a raycast. Now in his video he was shooting the raycast down, like just straight down from the wheel, which I'm guessing is probably going to work for him. But with my thing, you can put the wheels on in any configuration, so you have to always be able to make sure you hit the, like, you know, a raycast down. You have to just do the raycast in any direction, so you could like be driving up a wall and you'll still get like, you know, simulated grip. And then so what I do is I shoot out like a raycast every single time, like every fixed update, like the vehicle's moving, not when it's not moving, because that's just wasting, you know, CPU. So it shoots out the fixed updates, or it shoots out every time there's like an input, and then it basically figures out which way it's rotating, so which way the force should be, the friction force should be forward or backwards. Oh, are we out of power? I think we're out of power. Oh no, I know what happens. The computer ran out of power. Whoops. Let me go to it. Can we turn it back on? I don't think so. Ah, yeah. Probably put more charge in these things. Yep, well, I guess that's the game right there. Yep. I wonder how much the rest had battery. I'm gonna make like a energy diffuser too, just so everything has charge. Yeah, 564 charge left, so it's down to 10% battery. And then put a battery in here for the turret. Does pretty well, because the turret's actually 2 servos. So that was pretty good range on the semi tank. Let's check how far it actually went. Semi tank went. Hang on, let me bring this over. What was that? Less than a kilometer? Went. I think that's about 17 kilometers. Let's see. Where's the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. Or yeah, I think we traveled, I don't know, about 17 kilometers away from spawn. So, let's check the Invention Lab data. Yeah, Invention Lab is 17 kilometers away. So 17 kilometers for a, you know, relatively low on fuel vehicle. Not that great. Yeah, it's gonna take. I think that's gonna be like a big thing. It's just like getting to the end of the world. I mean, once it can be done, it'll be easy. But people play this game, and I think that's gonna be like one of the first objectives is get to the end of the world. How close do we even get? Not very. The ID doesn't really even load it, or the Unity doesn't even load it. We're in the inspector. So close. Service still works. We'll have to modify that. Also, the side computers didn't turn off. I'll change that. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you're excited for my game as I am. I think things will only improve from here on out. So, let me show you the title screen real quick. There you go. Title screen. Yep, thanks for watching.